David chosen to be king. Can you say David? Say David.
David.
Chosen.
Chosen.
To be king.
Be king.
All right. This is 1 Samuel chapter 16. And the Lord said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil, and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. Now see, Saul had been anointed the first king. And actually, Samuel was the one who anointed him king, but Saul had rejected God, and so God had rejected him. He had disobeyed God. So Saul or his family could not continue to serve as king. Well, we're reading our Bible story this morning. So, and Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, Take a heifer, that's a cow, it's a young cow, with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Lord. And that's what he did. And call Jesse. Yeah, look, he did. All right. And it says, and call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou shalt do. And thou shalt anoint unto me.
No, that's bad.
No, it's not. He's going to go make sacrifices, but he's going to go find a new king. Let's find out how that happens. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably I am come to the sacrifice of the Lord, to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves, and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. When he said to sanctify themselves, he had them clean up. Are you a fishy? Yeah. Had them clean up, okay, and had to get them prepared, okay, for the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, look right here. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab. Now Eliab.
All the cows.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Surely the Lord. Listen, Mama's reading. Okay. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, Surely the Lord's anointed is before me, or before him. But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, on his outward appearance, or on the height of his stature. So apparently he was a very tall, because apparently he was a very tall, very good looking man. And Samuel thought, oh, surely this is going to be who God's going to anoint king. But that wasn't him. Said, I have refused.
There we go.
Yep, the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. God sees what's in our heart. Not just what we look like on the outside, but what's in our hearts, and that's more important. That's right. Does God look and see what's in our hearts, right? Okay, well, Mama's going to finish reading. Then Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel, and he said, Neither hath the Lord chosen this. Then Jesse made Shammah to pass by, and he said, Neither hath the Lord chosen this. Again Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, The Lord hath not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all thy children? And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. Until he comes here, we're not going to sit down, and we're not going to sacrifice. We're not going to have our meal. We're not going to do any of those things until I see this youngest son. That's what Samuel is telling to Jesse. Yeah, listen, Jesse. Can you say Jesse? Jesse. And so Samuel tells Jesse this. Jesse sends for the youngest son, and David comes. And see, all of his older brothers, David was the youngest, all of his older brothers had passed before Samuel. Samuel had looked at every one of them, and God said, nope. Every time it was no, because God saw the heart. God saw who these young men really were in their hearts. And he's like, nope, these are not the ones I've chosen. And Samuel asked, is there one more? And there was, the youngest son, David. See, usually the oldest son was the one who kind of got the majority of the blessings and all of that. But in this case, the youngest son comes. So the baby of the family, and he was just a child. And he sent and brought him, and now he was ruddy and withal of a good countenance and goodly to look to. Okay, so he was a good looking boy, okay, or young man. He might have even just been a very, very, very a youth at this time. And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. Now, Samuel anointed David to be the new king in front of all of his older brothers. See, now they were all come to the sacrifice, and they had left David out in the field to tend to the sheep while they participated. I see that. While they participated in the sacrifice. But they had to send for David, and here comes David, the youngest of them all. Okay, a youth. Okay, no, not right now. A youth, and in front of all of his older brothers, he is anointed king. He is anointed king. I'm going to show you a picture here that's in my girls' Bible. And this is a picture of Samuel anointing David to be king. You can see some of his brothers in the background back there. Okay? So David, although he did not become king that day, he would become king. God had chosen him to become king. There was a lot that David had to go through to get there. No, just listen. But you know what I find? David was young. David was very young. There are many, many young people in this Bible and children that God has chosen. That God has chosen. Listen, look. We're still teaching. So that God had chosen to use. Doesn't matter your age. Okay, you can be very, very young. You can be very, very old. You can be in between. And God can still use you in a mighty way. God would use David, who is a shepherd, the youngest of his family. A shepherd, I know. A shepherd, the youngest of his family, to do something mighty for him. And we can do the same thing. Even Rachel, as young as Rachel is, Rachel's very young, but God can use Rachel in a mighty way. And God can use you in a mighty way as well. So it doesn't matter who we are, where we come from, or our age, God can use us all. Yep, you too. You too. That's right. Tell them bye.
Bye.